Kenya has been one of the biggest, most aggressive proponents on a total ban on the trade of ivory. Here's CGTN's Clementine Logan now taking a look at how the East African nation is trying to protect her elephants.
Last year, Kenya's efforts to protect its elephants and stop the illegal ivory trade made history. In April, the government set ablaze almost its entire stockpile. More than 100 tons of illegal elephant ivory and rhino horn up in flames. Kenya wanted to show the world that Africa's wildlife is worth more alive. President Uhuru Kenyatta also announced that his country would push for a total ban on the trade in ivory. Research shows 30% of elephants have disappeared in just 7 years. Poaching is the main driver, with one killed every 15 minutes for its tusks. In September, the Convention on International Trade in Endangered Species held a major conference in South Africa. 29 countries, led by Kenya, pushed hard to ban all trade in elephants and their ivory. But the vote failed to get a two-thirds majority. Kenya has made some headway, though. Poaching in northern and central Kenya is thought to have been cut by nearly 80% since 2012, largely thanks to rapid response teams. And research by Wildlife Direct shows that Kenya's 2013 Wildlife Act, which allows for harsher penalties, has seen a rise in the number of poachers convicted. In July last year, a Mombasa law court sentenced ivory kingpin Faisal Muhammad Ali to 20 years in jail after finding him guilty of illegal possession of 2 tons of ivory worth $440,000. Numerous cases, though, continue to fail due to low-level corruption. The hope is Kenya can save its elephants before it's too late. Clementine Logan, CGTN.
Let's discuss this further. I'm now joined in studio by Jim Nyamu. He's the Executive Director at Elephants Neighbours Centre here in the capital, Nairobi. He joins us in our studios. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much.
What's your assessment of the implementation of this ban in legal ivory trade in China? We've had, of course, the prices for legal ivory have been falling, but beyond that, what effect is it having?
Thank you very much. You know, China for a couple of years have been blamed because of the trade of ivory. And by them declaring that they don't want to be involved in this is a plus, you know. And according to the African Elephant Database and also the Elephant Trade Information System, they were the first leading consumer, and the America were the second leading consumer. This is a good gesture to the international market. However, the people who are involved in killing elephants are not Chinese. It is Kenya. So we're going to stop the market. We're going to have no business at all. But is this message clear to the African countries? Because they continue killing elephants, but the Chinese and Americans have stopped buying the ivory.
But I mean, I think there should be a distinction here. The legal channels to buy it have been essentially broken, at least in the Chinese market, but the legal demand is still very much in existence, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Like in America it is, in Europe it is, but China is stopping this. And I've always been saying this, to end poaching and to end the ivory trade over ivory, we need the help of China. And it is good they have come strongly, because it is sending message, very clear message, to the African countries. And I remember a few years ago, they also say that they need to reduce the domestic use of ivory. And now it is good they have come up strongly saying, we are out of this business. And this is going to be a very good message. And the other countries, like the America, the Europe, can also follow suit. And I'm sure if there is this commitment, we can end ivory trade.
Right. Let's talk about the conservation side of things, because as we heard in the package just before, elephant herds have been falling significantly. In Kenya's case, down about 30% in a couple of years. Land, of course, is an increasingly scarce resource. We're seeing a lot more human-wildlife conflict. Elephants need space to grow, herds need to be restocked, but human beings obviously at the same time are also expanding quite a bit. So when it comes to conservation, which countries are getting it right and which ones are not getting it right?
Thank you. Out of the 34 African countries that where we have elephants, I would talk of Namibia is doing one of the best things. And I'm sure in the last CITES conference, their population is in apex too, whereby they can trade with ivory, and they have one of the highest population of elephants. You know, 130,000. And by saying they want to take the population back from 2 to 1 without being forced is a good gesture. And you look at the space they have created for wildlife. they've been using what we would call the community-based conservation model. And I think the second country would be probably Kenya. Yeah, and you've seen from last year when there was international ban on ivory, where Kenya destroyed over 100 tons of ivory. They have done follow-up on this. And I think by even the campaign that we are doing, raising awareness and educating people, creating awareness to everybody using the media or the print media, social media, is a good thing. However, each country like Tanzania, they're not doing much. However, they seem to be with the new government now. They're able to take it up. But I would suggest, and I would say this with the audacity, Namibia is doing one of the best things, and Kenya would be the second out of that 4 African countries.
All right, then we'll have to leave it there for the time being. Thank you for your time this afternoon,
welcome, sir.
I appreciate it. Right, we've been speaking, of course, to Jim Nyamu. He's the Executive Director at the Elephant Neighbour Centre here in the Kenyan capital, Nairobi.